Playing the ball. No, it hasn't turned into basketball. We've loved all your comments on the rules refresh, but there are a few things that we need to clear up. It's important to remember that this rule hasn't changed. These are things you've always been able to do to gain possession of the ball and to play the ball legally. The reason behind the refresh was to make things clearer for everyone because the rule was not being correctly applied. Let's start with replay, and in particular, bats, bounces and tips. We're going to look at how many of these you're allowed and whether you can gain possession of the ball once you've used them. First, let's look at what a player can do to gain possession of the ball. Rule 11.1 states that a player may bat the ball once and then catch it. A bat is where a player hits the ball into the air with one or both hands to control its direction. Bounce the ball once and then catch it. A bounce is where a player directs the ball with one or both hands towards the ground, causing it to rebound. Touch the ball in an uncontrolled manner once or more than once and then catch it. In looking at whether the touch was controlled, the umpire must judge whether the player was able to control the direction of the ball. The umpire should take into account the skill level of the players in making this assessment. They might also need to consider the conditions in which the game is being played, such as wet weather for outdoor games. If the ball touches a part of the player other than the hand, such as their arm, leg or body, this will normally be judged as touching the ball in an uncontrolled manner. Remember though that a player can't kick the ball or fall on it to gain possession.
Now let's look at what a player can do without having possession of the ball. Rule 11.7 states that a player may bat the ball to another player or bounce the ball to another player. Bat the ball once and then either bat or bounce the ball to another player. Bounce the ball once and then either bat or bounce the ball to another player. Touch the ball in an uncontrolled manner once or more than once and then bat or bounce the ball to another player. An easy way to think about replay is that a player is allowed 2, but not 3 controlled touches of the ball. 2 bats or bounces in any combination, a bat and a catch, or a bounce and a catch. However, this is different where a player has uncontrolled touches. After having one or more than one uncontrolled touch of the ball, a player is allowed only one controlled touch, a catch or a bat or a bounce to another player. Now let's look at repossession. Rule 11.6 states that after having possession and releasing the ball, a player may not touch the ball again before it touches another player or it rebounds from the goalpost. It's important to understand what having possession means, and this is covered in the definition section of the rulebook. Possession is where a player holds the ball with one or both hands, or has one or both hands on the ball while it is on the ground.
To be penalised for repossession, the umpire must judge that the player had possession of the ball in the first place. For example, this means that a player who is fumbling for the ball in an uncontrolled way and then picks it up should not be penalised. A player who catches the ball after it has touched a part of their body other than their hand should not be penalised. Again, the umpire will need to consider the skill level of the players and the conditions of the game to ensure that this assessment is made fairly. These examples should help everyone to understand the rules for playing the ball.